Hello, my name is Michael Denise, and today I'm going to be going over the brain and the different divisions of the brain, any subdivisions, and what all these pieces do and how they work together. So to begin with, we'll start with the brain stem. So the brain stem is this section of the brain right here. It is the lowest part of the brain and connects it to the spinal cord. Right here we have the midbrain, which is right up here, general area, and this acts as a relay between the rest of the brainstem and the spinal cord to the rest of the brain. We also have pons, which works in respiration, sleep, and posture, just kind of things more in the background. And then we also have the medulla oblongata right down here, which works at regulating heart rate, blood pressure, and breathing rates. Now we also have in our brain, we have the dicephalon, which sits right above the brainstem. So here we have our brainstem, here we have our dicephalon. And there are two major parts of the dicephalon. We have the hypothalamus, which works as a link between the nervous system and the endocrine system. It also contains the pituitary gland and maintains homeostasis functions such as thermoregulation, hunger, thirst, and sleep cycles. We also have the thalamus here, which directs sensory impulses to the rest of the brain. Next, we would have the cerebrum, which is the largest part of the brain, often the ones that we're thinking of the most, and it is divided into, or you will notice that it is covered in a lot of different grooves and edges and ridges. So the ridges of the brain are kind of its folds. Those are referred to as gyri. The grooves or the indentations are referred to as sulci, and any deep grooves are referred to as fissures. So the cerebrum is divided into right and left hemispheres, and there are 5 different lobes in the cerebrum. So right here in our anterior view, we have the frontal lobe, which controls voluntary functions such as muscular skeletal muscles and higher level cognition. Up here, moving towards the posterior, we have the parietal lobe, which works with receiving and interpreting signals from our general senses. We also have here at the back, we have the occipital lobe, which is our primary vision center. Forward down here, we have our temporal, which processes our hearing and smelling. And then actually, it's a little hard to draw, especially if you're not an artist like me, but in between the frontal and the temporal lobe, there is what's called the lateral sulcus, which is a very large fissure. And in that fissure, in between those two, rests the insula, which is where spoken language and taste are processed. So those are the major regions of the brain, their functions, their subdivisions, and how they all help us operate. Thank you.